Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Well, let's take a look at some stocks on the move. Today, we got with us Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Denitsa Sakova here on Monday's Stock Movers. What's on your radar?
Let's start with kind of Goose, because I think it's a really good gauge of retail sentiment, of tariffs, the consumer and all that. It actually had a pretty rough start of the day. It was down as much as 9%. Some of the gains were off by the end of the day. We're down just 3.5 at the close. Still, the stock is down 20% year to date. So what's happening is Barclays actually cut their rating to underweight. We also had a report from Goldman Sachs saying that Canada Goose will be the worst hit, one of the worst hit retail stocks, and they're estimating about 80% of their sourcing is from Canada. So you can imagine with the tariffs, that will be a big hit. Obviously, that's a little bit higher-end consumer.
Maybe you got to find some American geese. I'm just throwing it out there.
Maybe an American brand is coming.
I don't know.
Or maybe it'll be made
Canada
in America.
Goose.
Yeah. So the stock is under a lot of pressure, and this is the second downgrade by Barclays. And there is only one analyst that has a buy rating on Canada Goose. So there isn't much bullishness.
I walk by Carol Masser's desk, and it's not even possible to put anything down there because there's just cans of Celsius all over her desk. She's just mainlining this stuff. She shotguns
that
it.
Explains everything.
The energy,
that explains
right?
everything.
So not true, but go ahead.
Well, they are building up their female audience because that's the fastest growing segment. Because men drinking energy drinks are going to flatline or decline, but the growth is coming from women. And that's why Celsius gained 7% today. We obviously heard about their acquisition about Alani Nu, but today they got upgraded to buy from Truist. And clearly the bullishness is because of the acquisition. The price target is now $45, up from 10%. The space is very competitive. Celsius was down 50% last year. They're competing with Red Bull. Everyone is trying to have like a healthier drink with less sugar to attract different audience. But what Celsius is doing so far this year is working. The stock is up 35%.
Yeah, not too shabby, right?
Yeah.
Vaccine stocks. We've talked about this too. We saw certainly a hit in this session today.
We saw a big hit, and we saw a lot of reactions from analysts. So the biggest loser today is Moderna, which closed 9% lower, but it fell as much as 14%. If we look at the year-to-date move, we're talking about a 30% loss. What, of course, happened today is all those stocks plunged after Peter Marks, a key figure overseeing review approver vaccines at the FDA, resigned. And the reason is, of course, the clash he had with Robert F. Kennedy. We saw really negative reactions from analysts to the point where counter-Fitzgerald analysts are slamming the leadership of Kennedy and saying that the administration should reevaluate that. They're not talking about the stocks. Obviously, everyone's saying that's going to weigh a lot on the stocks, but they're talking about changing leadership. So
that's what I think is so interesting. It's Cantor Fitzgerald, too. You have Howard Lutnick's firm, and these are analysts at his firm. It's really fascinating to see. Moderna and then other biotech and vaccine makers got a hit today.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sarepta as well.
All right. Good stuff, as always.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.